to my new subscribers and hello to my OG subscribers. Today I want to talk to you about the topic of being your own cheerleader. When you have talent, which cheerleading is not and has never been one of mine, I was like playing in an orchestra and making club sandwiches at a Blimpie on football nights in high school, so that was never a talent of mine. But everyone, I believe, is born with natural abilities and then can improve over time when it comes to talents. Everybody has some sort of gift in some capacity. And sometimes you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be your biggest cheerleader and just kind of give yourself a rah-rah when nobody else will. There can be times where it can be discouraging because you might have a specific vision that you have in mind that you'd like to carry out based upon whatever it is you feel your gift is. And sometimes there are times where you try and voice that, try to explain your vision to someone else, and people can't necessarily see it because they're not thinking the same way that you are. And, sometimes it's hard to articulate exactly what's in your brain. And so when you are met with responses that are not necessarily encouraging, people might even vocalize that they're doubting that you are able to do it, it can really have a negative effect on you and the opinion that you have of yourself and your abilities. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that. I was inspired by, this title of this video is inspired by the song by a band called Cake. And the song is Short Skirt, Long Jacket. And in it, there are lyrics that describe a girl who is fast, thorough, and sharp as a tack. And it made me start thinking about somebody who's super sharp and someone that's just an intelligent person. And it started this way of thinking, this kind of like mode of thinking that applied to areas of my own life. Even it's been particularly relevant, this topic, to the last couple weeks, things that have happened. And I was thinking of this moment, just opportunities in my work over the years where I've been able to kind of point to my talent or point to the progress that I've made in areas professionally, and then just kind of like with side gigs that I've got going on, and being able to see my work before me and even get positive feedback from others and motivation from others, people that don't realize how much their words mean. I think that's huge. It starts with you internally being able to motivate yourself, but also it does help when you get positive feedback from other people. And feedback overall, everything that you hear from people isn't going to be positive and flowery words, and sometimes it can be constructive and you can apply that in places that you need to, but getting feedback from people definitely helps also. So when you have a talent or when you have something that you're particularly interested in, really passionate about, you might want to try and attempt it. And the first attempt might not go as planned. It might not go super well, and you can decide to give up then, or you can decide to persist and continue working towards whatever your goal is. And I think that if it's something that you truly have interest in, that you should try to continue and not give up if the first try or the first couple times it doesn't go as planned. This video right here, this is this is a third attempt. I thought I had the tools ready to go, and then I realized that I didn't have all my batteries and the other equipment that I needed, and I was like, oh, I'll roll with this battery that I've got that's like halfway full now, and it was like a false read, and it went red almost immediately. And I was like, okay, all right, so I've got to like go and get a battery and everything. And then second time around, it was just completely out of focus. So this is my third try with this. And so everything doesn't always go as planned, but you have to persist and keep going because things improve over time. I think a huge thing to consider is placing yourself amongst people that you consider experts in whatever it is you are striving to be better at, striving to build out as far as a gift, a talent. And so an example of this is for me, I've been going to art classes weekly, and art has been a part of my life since I was a little kid. Like I always painted and drew and colored, just like it's always been a part of me. It's always been something that I've loved. And in college, I did like introductory art classes, but nothing super in depth and in a formal manner. And so this is my first time like actually taking classes over and over again outside of college years. And just there are people there at different levels. There's even like depending on what day you go, there's like teenagers, and I'm blown away. Teenagers and tweens and everything, and they've got amazing art. And so it's just people of all different ages that can teach you something, but they are clearly just really talented people. And so being in the midst of those people and talking to them, and even hearing how they express their excitement or sometimes lack thereof in the work that they do. Like you'll be looking at a picture and you're like, this is beautiful, and they're like, and you're like, what are you talking about? This is amazing. And so just putting yourself in the midst of people who are experts at that, or people that are growing. And our instructor, she does it for a living, and so she's a really, really talented person, and she can look at something, and maybe you're working and you're at the very start of this painting, and you're super close to it, and so you see every brush stroke, and you're like, this is not attractive whatsoever. But she sees the big picture, she knows what it's gonna be, and she's standing back from it, and she can go, no, you're doing great. This is beautiful. This is going to blend well, and you're going to see. And at the end, she's always right. She's like, wait. Let me hold it up and show it to you from far away. And you're like, oh, my eyes do a different thing when the picture's far away than when it's up in my face. And so it's just, I think perspective is huge too. Looking at things like literally the perspective when you're looking at a picture, and then just in life. It's just a major part of life is applying perspective to different situations, and it'll view differently, it'll read differently when you're looking at situations in your life. We're applying differing perspectives to things. So that's like a tangent I can go on another day. But so placing yourself in the midst of people who are experts in that area, because you're going to learn from them, you're going to find tips, and just kind of hear what their input is, and you apply it to the things that you're doing, and so you'll continue improving. I think that one of the worst mistakes you can make is to look at somebody that's been doing something for a long, long time, compare yourself, and be like, I suck at this because I'm not as good as this person. Because when you really think about it, an expert is just somebody who's been doing it longer than you have. If they've got more time on you, there's no way to compete. Either they've been like on this earth longer than you, or they got started in whatever craft much earlier on in life than you did, and that's okay. And so you can look at somebody as an example, or even like a goal that you want to be able to create something that looks like it's on the level of whatever person you've chosen as this, kind of ideal kind of goal. But you never want to completely compare yourself to that person and try and emulate them. And so, if you're getting inspiration for a specific style from somebody, that's one thing. It's another if you're just like, I want to be creating exactly what they're creating, because everybody's unique, and you're never going to be able to be the exact, copy of whatever or whoever this person is. Be true to yourself, but don't ever feel discouraged or as if like, oh, I'll never live up to this person or this thing that they do, because they've just been doing it longer than you have. They got 20 years of experience doing whatever it is, and you just started last year. Then there's no way that you can realistically go, well, I can't believe I can't compare to them. Now, the rate at which you learn, you might be able to create something wonderful that can be, compete with what they've done, because maybe they didn't have access to the type of knowledge that you have. You can go on YouTube and learn just about anything, and maybe they didn't have that type of accessibility at the time that they started, so they had to figure things out along the way, which is another great reason to put yourself among people who are experts and have a real grasp on whatever it is that your talent is, because there are enough generous people in this world that are willing to share their knowledge, share hacks and things like that with you, to the point where you can avoid some of those roadblocks that they encountered, some of those excess steps that like were unnecessary, and if they had just known this little tidbit, they would have known how to avoid some struggle. And so they pass that knowledge on to you and kind of set you up for success. So yes, encountering somebody who is willing to take that time with you and share information with you is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a gift, and fully embrace it if ever you are in that position. And so I would say avoid feeling discouraged because things don't necessarily go as planned in the beginning. Avoid discouragement based upon people's reactions to what you have to say, because it could genuinely be a great idea. It just could be something that's misunderstood when you're trying to explain whatever your vision is for your goal or your talent that you have. So if you've got like the voice of an angel, if you're a musician, if you're a writer, if you're a photographer, if you're a filmmaker, and even things that don't necessarily fall into the traditional creative field, something like, I don't know, you're a mathematician, and you just have like a real great ability to problem solve, and you want to offer that up as a service to somebody, then fully lean into that and don't second guess yourself and go, well, I'm not that great. Like, I'm not that intelligent. Like, I'm all right. Lean into it. You have to be your own cheerleader and just recognize when you have genuine talent and recognize when you have something to offer to other people. Because everybody does. It's just about finding whatever it is, that sweet spot, and developing that, so that you are not only good at it, but you are continuing to improve over the years. Everybody has to improve at some point. Even if you've got years and years of experience, there's new technologies that come about, new structures to systems, and you have to adapt to that. And so everyone's constantly learning. And so don't ever feel like you'll never be at whatever point with whatever your talent is. I say go for it. I say stay encouraged, and definitely surround yourself with people who are already doing it. It gives you something to look forward to, it gives you goals, and gives you a wealth of knowledge that you can go to and tap that well over and over again. And then you make friends, connections that, who knows, like down the road, they could connect with you and work with you, so it guarantees you work and income, or even if it's just a really fun hangout and spending time doing it as a hobby. Whatever your talent is, lean into it. Don't be afraid to be your own cheerleader. Don't be afraid to speak up. I think one of the things that really stuck with me it was a playwriting class, was this idea of showing instead of telling. So it's this in storytelling where there's a scene and maybe there's a couple and they're having an argument. Rather than going, Nancy was upset at Joe, you present dialogue where Nancy and Joe are talking, and clearly based upon the manner in which they're talking to one another and maybe the subject matter, it becomes pretty clear as you read that it's a heated discussion and that it's an argument. So showing through the storytelling what's going on, rather than handing it over to the audience and going, she was mad at him. And that just, implies that you know that your audience is intelligent enough to pick up on these cues, and it reads better. It's just to your advantage to show rather than tell. Now, if we take that concept and apply it to a talent that you might have, it's allowing your talent to speak for itself. So you may be a very intelligent person and you have a presentation to present before a group of people. Rather than going, guys, I have the best idea, I am, the best at whatever this is. You present your information. Now, you go about it in the best way that you know possible, as far as selling it to those people and speaking with eloquence. But if you have the numbers to back it up, the information to back up what you're saying, then it's going to speak for itself. There's an argument to be made for, really selling yourself. There are situations where you want to. If you're in a job interview, you might want to sell yourself. There are opportunities definitely to do that. But I know that personally, I've always wanted to avoid coming off as cocky or feeling like an imposter. I know it's like a really big buzzword right now, imposter syndrome, but this idea that you think you aren't as good as people are saying you are. And so if I'm like, yeah, I'm a painter and people are like, oh my gosh, your art is amazing, your art is wonderful. And I'm like, no, it's not. And everyone around me is like, no, we've agreed. Like, it's a consensus that you have wonderful art. And I'm like, I don't know what art y'all are looking at. Clearly, you're crazy. And so if you just stop and take a look, you're like, okay, everyone is telling me my art is great. So they didn't all, meet together and go, all right, we're gonna lie collectively to Aisha. Like, they have on individual basis seen my art and went, wow, this is great. This is only an example, guys. I'm not like Picasso or Van Gogh. But I would at some point have to stop and accept the reality that the work that I have created is being enjoyed by a group of people. And so it's true that I am able to create quality work. And it's through me showing them, not necessarily having to tell them, but also me being realistic with myself and accepting the fact that I am good at something. So that's a part of like you becoming your own cheerleader. You have to recognize the good in your own work and be okay with being good at something. So you can define yourself part through what you're creating. So if you are a writer, you go, I am a writer. Oh, are you a writer? What do you do for a living? I am a writer. I am a photographer. I am an artist. Whatever it is, insert whatever your talent is, whatever your thing it is that you are working on, and be okay with being good at it, and be okay with telling other people about it. And that's absolutely fine, and you're not bragging because you're talking about whatever it is you're passionate about. I think the issue comes in when it's someone who just they are an imposter and they can't back up the things that they're saying. I've encountered plenty of people like this, and I'm sure you have too, where they really, really oversell themselves, and when it's time to deliver, then they are not able to produce this product, this thing that seems as though it's something that should have come naturally to them, or was talked about in a way in which it was, it was going to blow you away, or whatever, whoever the audience is. And when it's time to deliver, then they can't really do that. There's a lot of self-important people who are just like all ego and all personality that have no issue selling themselves. Like, they're the best at selling themselves, but then the other part of it, the actual concrete evidence, the content that they are to deliver, they cannot deliver on that. And that's where the trouble comes in. But if you're not one of those people and you're not overselling whatever it is that you have to offer to this world, then you're good. You're fine. I promise. And so, stay encouraged. Believe in yourself. I know for a fact that there are people out there that you are one of those people who has some sort of ability. And if you're looking to, I guess, tap into that and you're like, I don't know what I'm good at, just start with thinking about what it is you have a real passion for and try it out. Sit down and kind of, sometimes you might have to make out a list of things and just put some thought into it and put some effort into it. And like I said, the first time, the first couple tries, it just might not go so well. But be open to learning more about it. The more you learn, the better. You'll be able to develop your skill more. You'll be able to learn tips and tricks and just methods for whatever it is that you have a passion for. And as you keep going, if you see yourself improving, which it's worth taking stock of, and looking at how you began, and as you go over time, comparing it to where you are now, and if you can see a clear difference, you see that there's some progress happening. So if you're getting better at it, you're learning more and more as you go, you're getting good feedback, then you know that, and if you're continuing to enjoy it and you don't absolutely hate it, then that might be an indicator to you that that's something that you have a gift for, and it's something that you might want to continue to pursue. And sometimes it takes multiple tries to be able to pinpoint exactly what that is, and that's okay too, because you want to get to a place in life where you have things going on, multiple things going on, where you're not just working, but you can work and have a hobby, or have, multiple gigs happening, and just other interests that where you have the opportunity to express yourself and really, really enjoy whatever it is that you're good at, so that it helps to make you a happy, well-rounded human being, and you're good at it, and so it comes naturally to you after a while. You actually enjoy it, and you have no problem dedicating a decent amount of time to it. Then you'll know when you identify your gift, because the way that it's going to flow from you, after a while, there'll be no doubt. And so I just hope that encourages anybody out there that might be attempting something and it's like, I'm failing at this, I'm not doing so well, or I'm kind of nervous about stepping into this new role, whatever it is. You have intelligence and you have talent within you, and you have the capacity to grow. You have the capacity to continue to improve over time, and you have resources around you, whether it's online, whether it's in person. And so you take the resources that are in front of you and you learn from them and you grow with it, and you don't doubt yourself, and you move forward with being your own cheerleader and really celebrating yourself, celebrating your talents, and not being afraid to share it with other people. Share that talent and let them know about it, and they will help spread the word too. And now you got a whole squad of cheerleaders, and y'all are just like the best and the most popular in school. I'm just kidding, but you have your whole squad, and you have your whole group of people that are cheering you on also, and that's an amazing feeling. I have people in my life, I'm blessed with people in my life that have come in at different points and been my cheerleaders, even when I wasn't being a proper cheerleader myself. I should have been the captain of my squad, but I wasn't. I was not giving myself, the credit where credit was due, and I regret that sometimes, just, not fully leaning into the fact that I'm good at something. But it's never too late. You can redeem yourself, and you can celebrate yourself. If you haven't been doing it before, start now. So yes, I hope those are words of encouragement. I hope those words are useful to you and connect with you. They apply to you in whatever form that you see fit. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you get started or pick back up wherever you left off when it comes to whatever your talent is. Please tell me what your talent is. Whatever you have a passion for, or a project you might be working on, share it in the comment section. I'd love to know about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this content and you'd like to see more when it comes to communication, comes to talent and all those things, creative expression, then subscribe to this channel. My name is Isha White, if this is your first time viewing, and I talk to you about communication in its different forms in my solo dolo videos, and then I also interview other beautiful, talented, smart people about the ways that they communicate in different forms. So stick around. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. I love you. Bye-bye.